Good evening, everybody. Thank you. How very kind. Thank you. Good evening to you all. Hi, Shami. Hello, Millie. Nice to see you here, all of you. I'm so glad that you're all here this evening to help celebrate this American Film Institute and its 40th birthday. They are such a phenomenal organization. And I want to say also, along with everybody else, a very special thanks to my friends. They're very good friends at the Target Corporation. They've done many lovely things for me, and I'm so pleased that they made this evening possible. Target's commitment and involvement in the arts and literacy is extraordinary. They are a spectacular company, really, and I appreciate them professionally and personally. The Sound of Music, this sweet, long-lasting film, has brought so much joy to so many people for over 40 years also. It has stood the test of time thanks to the glorious music of Rodgers and Hammerstein and the incredible craftsmanship and care that is evident in every frame of the film. It's so beautifully directed by Robert Wise, I adored him, and he was a darling man. It's a wonderful tribute that AFI has included this classic as part of their 40th anniversary celebration, and I'm really honored to be participating in the festivities. As a young girl growing up in Walton-on-Thames in Surrey, England, I could never have imagined the opportunity that I would have to be involved in this wonderful business of entertainment and to be a part of this phenomenal movie. I'm really, truly still pinching myself. The good people at AFI have asked if I would tell you an anecdote or two about the making of The Sound of Music, and we could actually just not run the film and I could spend the next 2 hours telling you about it. Well, no, I'd rather you saw the movie. Because I have a husband that's actually hoping that I'll get home sometime this evening. The first thing that comes to mind is that nobody told the producers of the movie that Salzburg in Austria has the world's 7th highest annual rainfall. And it poured with rain, and we were freezing cold on top of those mountains at times. And we would dash out from under our tarpaulins and warm blankets and try to get the shot. And I remember Ted McCord, our cinematographer, looking up saying, I think there's going to be one beam and we've got about 3 minutes to get this. Be ready. And then we'd all be waiting and we would dash out and try to look very radiant and sunny and warm and so on. But there were some very funny things that happened on the movie that were joyous and silly and great learning experiences. But the beautiful opening shot of the movie, which is, the camera swooping down, which is actually a helicopter coming down through the trees to photograph me with my arms, as open wide as I turn. That shot was accomplished by my being at one end of a very long field and the helicopter coming down through the trees at the other end of the field. And there was a very brave cameraman hanging out of the side of the helicopter where there should have been a door, but instead there was the cameraman hanging by straps with his camera. And we approached each other, and this, as I walked this way and the helicopter came down, filming all the time as he went, I would make my big turn and begin to sing, and that would be the end of that shot. But I would start my long stride through the tall grass, and the helicopter would come down through the trees, and it came at me sideways because it was the cameraman was hanging out of the side of it. So the helicopter sort of came at me rather like a sort of crab, that goes like this. And it was a weird experience to see this thing coming toward me. And as I made my turn, the cameraman signaled, got it, and then flew around me to go back to the other end of the field, and I had to hightail it back to my end because we did it many, many times until they were sure that the focus was right and that we had the shot and that everything was perfect. The trouble was, this was a jet helicopter, and the downdraft from those jets was so strong that every time I'd made my turn and cameraman signaled he'd gotten it, the helicopter circled around me and the downdraft just flattened me into the grass. Now, I mean flattened. I mean, I went straight down there. It was fine for a couple of takes, but after that, you begin to get just a little bit angry and a little bit annoyed. And I really tried. I mean, I braced myself. I thought, it's not going to get me this time. And every single time I bit the dust and I was spitting grass and mud and everything, brushing myself off and running to the other end of the field, knowing it was going to happen to me again. One of the other silly things that happened was we were doing the... I want you to actually think about that when you see that opening shot, please. Well, one thing I should mention about the weather, too. Those clouds, those huge cumulus clouds that brought so much rain, and in fact, in some of the shots, it really is raining. You would never know it because it takes a lot of water to show up on camera, but it was really beginning to sprinkle. But those big puffy cumulus clouds lent such a texture to the movie, because if they hadn't been there, this would have been sort of, it is picture postcard perfect, but it would have been even more squeaky clean than it is. And notice just what those backgrounds are like if you are interested tonight, because they make the film have its kind of strength and its wonderful, guts in a way. We were filming the boat scene where we're all rowing. I'm rowing in with all the children on the lake, and the captain comes home, and I stand up in the boat, and I go, "Oh, Captain, you're home." And we all fall overboard because I stand up in the boat. And just before we started, the assistant director waded out to me on the lake, because we were fairly close in, and he said, "Can I just talk to you for a second?" And I said, "Sure, what's up?" He said, "Well, the little one can't swim." And I said, "What?" And he said, no, Gretel can't swim. And if you can fall forward off the boat and try to be the first to get her, this would be great, because, and I'm saying, I'll do my best. Well, the take that you'll see in the film is that the boat rocks forward, it rocks back, it rocks forward, and I go straight over the back, and you see my 2 feet disappearing. And I have never done the breaststroke faster in my life, because that little child was going under and coming up and going under and coming up. Everybody from the company made a mad dash into the water to get her out, and happily she survived. But it was a little scary, I have to say. And now she's this beautiful young woman. She's statuesque and looks like Marilyn Monroe, and you wouldn't believe that was our little Gretel. I guess now, I could go on, and there are many other funny moments, but I think it's probably time that you just sit back and enjoy this beautiful film. I am so proud to have been a part of it, and I want you to know that I did eat a lot of grass from the downdraft of that damned helicopter, and Gretel didn't drown, so that's the main thing. Thank you all for coming and being here at this very special event. I only wish I could hear what everybody's saying in all the movie theaters, as I'm sure you do too. Happy birthday, AFI. Thank you to the Target Corporation for making this evening possible. And I guess for you gentlemen up there in the booth, you can roll them. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.